Very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us right here on News Deck. My name is Alan Owino and welcome to the bulletin. Now, Muslims across the world are making end of Ramadan, and this year's Eid celebration is a unique one since Muslims won't be allowed to gather and perform prayers. Our correspondent Isuddin Haji is currently on the ground in Wajir to give us a live update of what the situation is during this Eid.
Well, good afternoon to you, Alan. We're coming to you live from Wajir County. Eid Mubarak to you and the rest of the crew at TV47. Today we are here at Orahi grounds. This is where hundreds of thousands of Muslims gather here to commemorate Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of Ramadan. And as you can see behind me, there's not that much population here as it was supposed to be, because Muslims were supposed to gather here in the morning to come and pray. But if my camera person can pan to us this side, there are children playing here, and of course the government has placed guidelines and directives that public gatherings should not be entertained. As you can see, children are not observing social distancing, are gathered here playing, of course unaware about the danger they could be exposed to, and this could really be a threat in curbing the fight against COVID-19. Wajir County now has 17 COVID-19 cases, and if these measures will not be adhered to, more cases could be registered. And Alan, again, telling you more is that I have spoken to some of the residents of the county of Wajir, and they were saying that they agree with the government of Kenya and so many governments across the world in banning public gatherings, because that will slow the fight or that will slow the processing or raising of numbers in COVID-19 positive cases. And these are some of the issues that are happening across the world, and so many Muslims across the world, many public gatherings and many places, or many open places where Muslims gather, such as this one, do not have people at all. And that is the thing that I wanted to put across today. And of course I will be updating you more later in our subsequent bulletins on the Eid process and how the residents are feeling and how they are coping with this unique Eid. Back to you, and Eid Mubarak from Wajir County.
All right, thank you very much, Isuddin, for that update. Now, here in Nairobi, our reporter Eli Lagova is at Kiamakio Abattoirs, where Muslims have been flocking to buy some meat to celebrate Eid at home. Eli now joins me live from Kiamakio here in Nairobi. Eli, what is happening where you are?
Well, we have been at Kiamakio slaughterhouse. I understand it is one of the major slaughter zones here in Nairobi, and of course on a normal day during Eid al-Fitr, we understand that most of the Muslim faith, our brothers and sisters from the Muslim faith, most of them will go to that place to buy meat so that they can celebrate together during this Eid al-Fitr. But as things stand at the moment, things are not the same as we used to see because of this coronavirus. We've been talking to some of the sellers or the butchers in that particular slaughter zone. Most of them are saying that the business is not as usual because the buyers or maybe people who've been buying their meat at this moment. Always the way they are. And I'm joined by one of the. Yes, here I'm joined by one of the officials. We are at this is Madare, one of the mosques in Madare, in Huruma exactly, where one of the officials from the mosque is going to speak to us to just maybe paint to us a picture of what Eid al-Fitr this year means to them. And maybe karibu sana, hebu tueleze Eid al-Fitr ya mwaka huu, ukiangalia Eid al-Fitr ya mwaka huu alafu ukiangalia ya mwaka jana, hivi unaweza kusema nini kuhusiana na Eid al-Fitr ya mwaka huu?
Shukran sana. Kwa majina naitwa Hussein, Chairman Madare Sub-County, Supreme Council of Kenya Muslim. Tukilinganisha mwaka jana na mwaka huu kuna tofauti sana katika njia za maombi. Tumeona ni kitu ambayo hatujawahi ona. imetukujia ghafla, sababu zamani sisi tulikuwa tunasali pamoja mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani, sala ya tarawih kwa pamoja, sala kama kawaida mara 5 kwa mchana kwa pamoja. Saizi imetutenganisha, hata watu kila mtu anafanya ibada kama hiyo nyumbani kwake, ambayo wakati ilikuwa ni msikitini ilikuwa bora zaidi, tukiwa watu wengi tunafanya kushindana katika ile kufanya wema. Na sasa kwa wakati huu ilikuwa ngumu sana ukilinganisha na mwaka jana. Kama ingekuwa ni wakati hii mwaka jana ungekuta shamra aina mingi, watu wanasherehekea Idi, watu wamenunua manguo, saizi hata sehemu ile ya kununua nguo kama Isili na nini imekuwa lockdown, watu hawezi ingia kule. So iko tofauti, iko kubwa sana. Pamoja na hivyo tumefanya mwanzo wa Ramadhani na tukamaliza. Kwa hivyo Waislamu wote nawaombea Saumul Makbul na Idul Mubarak. Alafu hapa nataka kuongezea pia kuna wenzetu mandugu zetu ambao wanaswali kesho pia, na hawa pia nawatakia Saumul Makbul na Idul Mubarak. Sisi wote ni umma moja, na ikitokea itilafu ya kielimu tunafanyanga kitu pamoja tu. Hizi ni masala zetu tu za ndani na tunajua njia ya kutatua sisi wenyewe. So katika hali hii sisi tunashukuru sana Mungu ametufikisha hapa, na wengine wetu wameweza kuswali leo, wamefungua Ramadhani yao, na wengine pia kesho Mungu akiwajalia watafungua. Na sote muhimu ni kuombeana na kuombea nchi yetu ili janga la COVID-19 tuondokee, tuweze kubaki vile tumezoea kuishi kama wanadamu.
Naelewa kwamba kuna baadhi ya viongozi ambao waliweza kujitolea wakaweza kuleta vyakula angalau mweze kupatia zile familia ambazo labda hazijiwezi. Je, mmepokea vyakula hivyo na labda mmeweza kupeana kwa zile familia ambazo labda hazijiwezi?
Asante sana, maswali mzuri. Kwanza hapa ilikuanga distribution point. Tumepata chakula kutoka kupitia ofisi yetu kuu Supreme Council of Kenya Muslim, 140 bags kutoka kwa rais wa nchi hii Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, na hiyo chakula imefika hapa na tumedistribute almost vulnerable families wengi sana sehemu hii na hata nje, sababu tulikuwa na almost 25 to 30 mosque wanakuja tunadistribute, wanakuja kureceive hizo dry food hapa na wanapeleka kwa msikiti zao, wanagawia watu ambao wanahitajika kupata hizo vyakula. Na pia tulikuwa na viongozi wengine ambao ni wakarimu na tunashirikiana na hawa. Tulikuwa na women rep hapa Nairobi, Esther Pasaris alikuja hapa na yeye akakuja akatoa chakula wakishirikiana na Kenya Pipeline, wakishirikiana na conjunction with Kenya Pipeline wameleta chakula pia. Hiyo pia at the same through ofisi yetu wa coordinator Nairobi. Ameweza kuongea na hawa na ameita hizo msikiti tena zingine ambazo hazijapata, tukadistribute hiyo food kupitia hizo msikiti, kupitia msikiti zote zile ziko area hizi za Nairobi. Yes.
So Alan,
na sanitizers kuna sanitizers pia zimeletwa hapa, kuna mask pia wameleta hiyo na mheshimiwa pia Anthony Oluoch pia MP wa Mathare alikuwa hapa kwa hisani yake, ameleta chakula ya family 100 na pia ameleta sanitizers 20 liters 20 liters 5, na tumeweza kufikisha kwa zingine zitafika, zingine tushafikisha kwa watu sababu hizo zitatumika kwa msikiti. So hiyo ndio mambo ile tulisaidika kupitia viongozi wetu wa kisiasa na wengine ambao wanaishi sehemu yetu. Thank you.
So Alan, that is how the situation is, and maybe on a normal Eid al-Fitr, this place could be full of people, but as you can see, the ground is almost empty. There are no people around because most of them are actually celebrating this Eid al-Fitr in their own homes. So that is it from here in Huruma, where we've been just trying to assess how Eid al-Fitr is being celebrated, and we of course be moving to several families so that we get to understand how they are celebrating this Eid al-Fitr. And because we understand, as he said here, there are those ones who are celebrating their Eid al-Fitr today, and there are those ones who will be celebrating their Eid al-Fitr tomorrow. So we'll be assessing the situation to just see how things are going to move. Then we'll of course be doing a comprehensive report in our subsequent bulletins. Alan.
Eli, thank you very much for that update. Let's now move on to other stories. President Uhuru Kenyatta has unveiled a stimulus program to jumpstart the economy by pumping 53.7 billion shillings into various sectors. The program is aimed at mitigating the ravages of COVID-19, which has rendered thousands jobless since businesses started closing down in March. The program includes a 10 billion shillings kitty for the vulnerable in society.
Wiki iliyopita ya kwamba tunajua ni Wakenya wengi ambao wanaumia wakati huu mgumu wa COVID, lakini hatuna budi isipokuwa kuendelea kuhakikisha tumepambana na hii jangwa. Na vile niliwaambia wiki iliyopita, mimi sina shaka Wakenya tukishirikiana, tuungane pamoja, tutashinda huu ugonjwa. Lakini tena leo wakati natoa hii hotuba ambayo tumetoa sasa ya kusema lengo mbalimbali ambayo serikali inachukua kurahisisha maisha ya wananchi wa kawaida na kuhakikisha ya kwamba wananchi bado wanaweza kuendelea na maisha yao kupitia hiyo stimulus package ambaye nimeitaja, lazima tukumbuke ya kwamba jukumu ni letu sisi wote. Sisi kama serikali zingine, mataifa yote duniani imeanza kuona hatuwezi kuendelea kusema Wakenya tukae nyumbani. Hatuwezi kuendelea kusema tu Wakenya musiende biasharani zenu, musiende makazi, musiende namna hiyo. Lakini ile kitu ambaye itatusaidia kwa kikamilifu kuhakikisha ya kwamba tumeweza tena kufungua uchumi wetu na wananchi waweze kuendelea na maisha yao ya kawaida, nimewaambia wenzangu, hii haitakuwa kwa sababu ya yale serikali itatenda. Itakuwa kwa sababu ya yale kila mmoja wetu kwa kibinafsi atafanya. Wewe uko na jukumu ya kuhakikisha umechunga mwenzako. Tukianza kupanua na kufungua uchumi wetu, wewe ujue ya kwamba usipotii masharti ambaye tumepatiwa, sio wewe peke yako utaumia, unaumiza pia mwenzako kwa kazi ambao unafanya. Ukienda nyumbani umeumiza mama, umeumiza mtoto. Kwa hivyo wakati umefika, na nimeambia mawaziri wetu na haswa maofisa wetu wa afya waanze kuambia Wakenya, waanze kuwaeleza Wakenya ya kwamba hatuwezi kuendelea na lockdown, hatuwezi kuendelea maisha na curfew. Na tukifungua hii ugonjwa ukianza kuenea, Wakenya lazima mjue ya kwamba itaenea kwa sababu sisi wenyewe, mimi Uhuru, Matiang'i, wewe na ule mwingine, hatujatimiza yale masharti ambayo tumepatiwa. Lakini tukiyatimiza, wenzangu, tutapona. Tukiyatimiza, wenzangu, we shall overcome. Tutashinda. Mimi sina shaka na hiyo. Na ndipo naendelea kusema, hata wakati huu ambapo sasa tuatii masharti ya curfew na yale mengine ambaye tumeweka kama serikali, itafika wakati ambapo lazima kama nchi zingine tutafungua taifa letu. Na wakati wa kufungua, jukumu sasa itarudi kwako, itarudi kwangu kibinafsi, kuhakikisha ya kwamba umejilinda, umelinda wale unapenda na unalinda wale mnafanya kazi pamoja na wao. Kwa hivyo wenzangu, hayo machache ambayo tumetaja ni yale ambayo tumeongezea kwa sababu shughuli za serikali za kikawaida na bajeti yetu yaendelea kawaida. Yale ambayo tumetangaza leo ni yale tumeongeza tu kwa sababu vile nimesema tumeweka bilioni 10 kusaidia wale ambao wameathirika zaidi. Lakini msisahau wa Kenya, bado kwa bajeti yetu tuko na ile bilioni 30 billion ambayo bado iko kwa bajeti, kumaanisha ya kwamba mwaka huu ambao ni mwaka wa kipekee kwa sababu ya huu ugonjwa, sasa tuko na 40 billion ambaye tumeweka kama serikali kusaidia jamii ambayo zimeangamia zaidi. Kwa hivyo wenzangu, tusaidiane, tupendane, tushirikiane, tusaidiane, tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumeshinda hii jangwa na Kenya yetu na Wakenya wamefaulu. Kwa hayo machache nasema Mungu aendelee kuwabariki. Mungu aendelee kubariki taifa letu la Kenya. Kwa wenzetu Waislamu tuwasema Idul Fitr. Mungu.
All right, that address on the stimulus package by the President Uhuru Kenyatta brings us to a fast break, but don't go away, we'll be back with more news. Right, thank you very much for staying with us right here on News Deck. Let's continue with the bulletin. Traders in Embu are set to benefit in their business operations after the county government of Embu announced that it will go slow on cess and tax payment enforcement due to the prevailing harsh conditions occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. Moige William with more details.
While giving monthly COVID-19 updates, Embu Governor Martin Wambora announced that his government will not charge cess on traders and trucks ferrying foodstuff in and out of the county.
We are going to waive ile tunaita cess. Foods coming from anywhere or going out of Embu, no cess. No cess. But the license which have been paid already is okay, but we are not going to press too much. We shall not harass wananchi about licenses as yet. Better things normalize. Because also business has gone down, isn't it?
The hotel industry in the county will also benefit as the testing fee has been reduced by half from Kenya shilling 1,000 announced by CS Mutahi Kagwe to Kenya shilling 500 as announced by the governor.
I know the minister announced 1,000 per person. We have further gone down ourselves. We would rather subsidize it to only 500 shillings. Wafungue mahoteli as long as they keep social distance. and sanitization and clean water, and also the time of opening and closing. 5 o'clock, closing at 4 p.m.
The governor observed that cooperation between wananchi and all stakeholders at the county have borne fruit, as no single case has been reported so far. He, however, cautioned stakeholders not to relent, as the number of COVID-19 cases nationally was going up.
We are not going to bang our chest because all is not over. We can see what is happening at the national level. The figures are going up, 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 up. We are not special, but we must do our best to protect ourselves and our relatives and our friends and our neighbors. That is a secret.
Wambora also expressed concern on the quality of masks made by a local vocational training center. He revealed that he had contacted the National Youth Service to help in the manufacture of the masks.
Sikupendelea na vile wametengeneza, we are trying to improve the quality. Wametengeneza, and I'm consulting NYS, Director General. Director General Matilda Sakwa, kwa sababu anatengeneza very high quality, watu advise na materials ya kutumia washable masks.
The county chief also revealed that 12,000 packets of maize and wheat flour will be distributed to vulnerable residents next week. Moige William, TV47, Embu.
Now, thousands of residents of Tana River living in lowland areas have finally agreed to relocate to safer grounds. The residents have relocated to the houses that were built by Kenya Red Cross Society last year. However, the residents decry that they have been incurring losses every rainy season.
At least 48,000 residents of Tana River County are affected by floods. Some residents are now forced to live in camps after they refuse to relocate to houses that were built by Kenya Red Cross Society. The locals living in IDP camps are calling upon the government to relocate them to safer grounds. The area member of parliament, Aki Wario, is calling upon the government to allocate emergency funds to build houses so that the locals can be relocated. On her part, the Kenya Red Cross Society Secretary General Dr. Asha Mohammed has said they will partner with the county government to construct houses and promise to fast-track the process. The Kenya Red Cross boss was speaking during the distribution of humanitarian aid to 4,500 households in Tana River. Zablon Masharia, TV47, Nairobi.
Robert Okubo, a volunteer, is using a disinfectant spray to disinfect police stations around Nairobi as part of the efforts to curb the spread of the new coronavirus outbreak. Together with a team of 30, they have disinfected Central, Langata and Kasarani police stations. Aaron Kipkoech reports.
Sprayer in hand and disinfectant solution in a motorized container on his back, Robert Okubo is working hard to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Police officers and members of the public go about their business as Okubo walks, only stopping to avoid the mist from his spray nozzle. Robert and his team of 30 will sterilize in and outside the station, which include its offices, hallways, and toilets.
But I noticed also the police stations are normally a very busy place. Can you imagine what a country would be like if you had police officers falling sick and we don't have anyone to maintain the crime or problems we're having in society? So I said it was important for me to check up on them and see if they were getting any services. If not, I offer.
Okubo came back to Kenya in 2003 to set up a cleaning company after a successful stint in the same industry in the United States.
We urge other Kenyans to follow Robert's footsteps so that they can assist our officers. You know, our officers are always in the front line in dealing this epidemic issue of corona.
The 51-year-old says he wishes he and team of volunteers could do more because the antiviral and disinfectant spray they use is not costly, but they lack additional resources and equipment.
The more we take charge of it in our hands, the better the fight will be against corona. So I'm appealing to those that can help. I wish we had more manpower and more machines, but there's a lot we can still do as citizens to help our country.
He recently injured his arm.
This arm was fractured on the line of duty. I was actually sanitizing one of the stations in Kilimani, and I was going around the building and I didn't realize there was mud on the ground. Because sometimes when you're spraying a building, you want to try and walk away from the treatment. And I ended up slipping and falling with the machine.
Okubo plans to regularly disinfect Nairobi's more than 40 police stations. So far, his team has covered 4 of the capital's busiest police stations.
We've done a Central Police Station, we've done Langata, we've done Kilimani, and we've done Kasarani. So Pole Pole, we are trying to see what else we can cover, so that we make sure that we keep our officers safe and also the inmates.
While Kenya recorded 66 new COVID-19 cases on Wednesday, the highest reported in a single day since the pandemic hit the East African nation, no infections have been reported among the police force or in the stations. Aaron Kipkoech, TV 47.
Robert Okubo over there, a very inspiring gentleman indeed. Now moving on to other inspiring stories. Burundian refugee Innocent Harimana has been making and selling soap since 2015. Currently, he has scaled up production and reduced prices so that more people can use soap to wash their hands at the Kakuma refugee camp. This refugee soap maker is working overtime to help fight coronavirus. Lexi Kimani reports.
When Innocent Harimana, a Burundian refugee, first heard hand washing was crucial in preventing coronavirus, he did something few businessmen would do, but lowered his prices to make it more affordable.
On my side as a soap producer, first I decided to put on a lower price so that each and everyone will be able to afford.
Coronavirus has left many people feeling helpless, but Harimana is an example of someone who saw an opportunity to make the difference and took it. Fellow refugees, aid workers and Kenyans in the local community buy the products made at a small workshop in Kakuma camp.
Currently, because of this coronavirus, the demand which is high, it is hand wash, hand sanitizer and multi-purpose soap.
Harimana has a diploma in chemistry and worked for a chemical company back home. He used his skill to establish a range of products including soaps, bleach and shampoo. All his products are certified by the Kenya Bureau of Standards.
Coronavirus affected the world, plus this Kakuma refugee camp. Most of the refugees are fearing so much coronavirus. That is why now you can't find more than 3 people who are in the same place.
The Kakuma refugee camp is located in northeastern Kenya and hosts close to 200,000 refugees. Lexi Kimani, TV 47.
All right, that story brings us to the very end of this bulletin at this time. We will continue to keep you updated in our subsequent bulletins, but for now, do enjoy the rest of your view.
Exciting world.